Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the newest episode of Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends, brought to you by the folks at Cristiana Salon and Spa. 10% off when you walk in, Shawn, and you mention the podcast. You could get your hair done. They've got a beautiful salon. They do nails, facials, massages. So 10% off is a pretty sweet deal. And it's just such a calming place. ChristianaSalonandSpa.com for all the details. How are you today?
It's like I hit record on this thing and all of a sudden my eyes just start watering.
You
I think
crying
I'm
again?
allergic. I figured out what I'm allergic to.
Is it me?
This podcast.
Okay. Well, let's sign off. Shawn has to leave for
It's a
medical
good day.
reasons.
Hey, have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Are you watching the Olympics? We were actually just talking off the air about how you are just so busy. So you have a concert going on tonight that you're performing in. And I'm like, God, every weekend you're going somewhere, you're flying somewhere, don't you ever just get like insanely exhausted and
Yeah,
think, I
I'm
can't
tired.
do it? I can't
I
do it anymore.
I think for the last 6 summers I've said next summer I'm not going to sign up for so much shit. And I'm at the point where I'm saying that again, and next summer about the same time I'll be like, man, next summer I shouldn't sign up for so much shit. I just don't learn and it's fine. It's my own fault. It's all good stuff. I love it. So I'm not going to complain, but I do get tired. But it doesn't leave a whole lot of time to watch the Olympics either, which is a little bit sad. On my radio show yesterday I was actually talking about this. I I feel like the Olympics used to be a bigger deal. Like when I was, and maybe it's because I'm so busy and I just don't pay attention, but when I was in grade school and then high school, like when the Olympics came around every 4 years, it was a big deal. And you gathered around the TV and you made time to watch beach volleyball. And now I won't watch any of it and I don't feel like I'm missing out.
Are you serious? I love the Olympics. If you're listening in real time, Friday was the opening games. I guess we're recording on Friday, so I could say tonight are the opening, what is it, ceremonies where they're going to come out and everybody's going to see what they're wearing. And Celine Dion is going to sing and it's
I
going to be
thought
a
she had
French
like Frozen
song.
Man syndrome. How does she sing if
Okay.
she's
I don't,
frozen?
it's first of all, it's called stiff person disease, not frozen man.
Same
How's your
shit,
frozen
different
man
day.
doing, Celine?
Oh,
Uh,
because stiff body syndrome's better than Frozen Man. It's shitty no
well,
matter
she's
what.
a girl, number one, and they're not temperature-wise, she's not frozen like ice. She just her joints, I don't know what it I guess from what I understand, and I thought she was, like, on her deathbed. She put out, like, I think it was on Amazon, a documentary about this horrible, frozen person disease that
That's
Shawn
not what it's called.
I know, it's called stiff people disease, stiff person disease.
Are you sure? Before
I
you
think
go
it
on here and start
is.
ridiculing me for messing it up, you better make sure you got it right.
I don't even care. But I'm just saying, she did this documentary about how awful it was, and it was so sad. And it wasn't but a month ago, I was like, Celine Dion, man, she's heading down. She's heading downhill. It's happening quick. They say someday she can't even lift her head up. And I'm reading all these articles and I'm like, damn, she's dying, everybody. This is happening. And then now she's opening the Olympics. And I'm like, wait a second. How bad is your frozen man syndrome, really?
Well, that's true, because if you were frozen, you wouldn't be able to move your mouth.
I'm gonna feel like a real dick if they wheel her out, and she's stiff, but they just
It
have a
seems like the
microphone so that they're
appropriate
holding.
it's the appropriate disease for a woman like Celine Dion, though, when I think about the movie that I know her for, which is Titanic, and the
Mhm.
premise of the movie is that a dude freezes to death at the end, that she gets frozen man syndrome. I mean, the world's coming full circle, right?
I feel like she should have seen it coming, but she
I
didn't.
should. This is horrible. Can we stop this conversation? This is not where it was supposed to go. And if she doesn't sing the Titanic song when she opens the Olympics, then I call
No,
bullshit.
her and Lady Gaga are supposedly singing like this French song, and they're gonna do this beautiful French duet, and it's going to be beautiful. But I read that and I'm like, well, damn, she's bouncing back fast from this stiff person disease, which is
Well, maybe they just
you
knew
know what? I'm glad
today's
about
going to be
that.
a good day. Today's going to be, there's bad days and good days with anything, and that includes the stiff man disease. And today's going to be a good day for it. So that's good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy that she's singing. If I was a French guy, I'd be pissed because the Olympics are in Paris, and now they've invited a Canadian and an American to sing at the opening ceremonies
Right.
and be like, dude, this is France. Can we get a French dude to sing?
Yeah, but can you name a French person?
Well, no, but if I
This
lived in France, I bet I could.
I understand, but, like, I have no idea. I'm just throwing this out there. Don't Americans watch the Olympics, like, way more than any other country? And so it's kind of geared more towards what we'll like, and I don't know if that's true, and it's not even just us, it's like, like England or you know what I mean?
I don't know that that's true because I remember watching the movie Cool Runnings, which is a good one, and all
Sure.
the people of Jamaica gathered around the TV to watch the Olympics when they were bobsledding. So I have a feeling that other countries probably watch it more than America, and that's probably why so many countries hate America because everything's tailored to us.
I
Like,
know.
quit tailoring shit to us. I ain't gonna watch it anyways. Let the French guy sing. Screw Lady Gaga and
Sean's not
screw
showing up
Celine
at
Dion and her especially if she's not singing the Titanic song, then I don't even wanna see her.
well, yeah, she's not, so you might as well just not watch what you were
I
planning on
wasn't
not
going
watching.
to.
I, on the other hand, it is Friday night. I am going to sit and I'm going to watch the Olympics and I do it every year. And I'm one of those weird people where when the Olympics get done, I go into an actual depression because I'm so sad because they're on throughout my entire house. And it's just like kind of comforting background noise and then when it's gone I'm so bummed out. I do love watching certain things. I love watching like the death defying things. Like when, I'm sure this is an incredibly gifted talent, but when you do the broom one.
That's the Winter Olympics. You're watching the wrong Olympics. These are
No,
the Summer
I know,
Olympics.
but I'm just saying even in the Summer Olympics there are some things where you're like,
They
"Really?"
don't broom anything in the Summer Olympics, which is unfortunate.
Okay, well, that's where we come in. I actually have this list of strange things that we will be competing in this Olympics.
We will not be competing in anything because even the strange shit we couldn't qualify for the Olympics for.
You and me?
Yeah, you just said we will be competing in.
No, not we. I mean America. Like we, the American
Did
people.
you before we get into that, did you hear they had to build beds this year at the Olympic Village where all the athletes stay that are sex proof because there's
Yeah.
so much these athletes are horny. And so they
And
had
you
to build
know
these
what? In a
beds that
way,
will
I'm kinda
break.
like, maybe I don't understand sports and the chemistry of your brain, but I'm like, don't you want them to be really happy and calm and relieved and walking on sunshine? Or do you wanna, like, have them have blue balls and be pent up and then
I
not
think you want that.
focus?
No, I
That's
don't
what
I
you
don't think it
want?
causes I think that when you have extra testosterone built up for the men, I can't speak to a lady because 'cause I'm not one, but I think that for the dudes, if you have extra testosterone built up, it's like a bull at a rodeo. You're just like you just got all this pent up energy, and so you put it out better. And
I
so that it's good to have blue balls for a guy if you're an athlete, I think. And the problem also is it sounds like there's an STD problem, and you don't need people getting herpes when they're about to go like swim in a pool with other people. I don't know if that passes herpes or not. 'Cause I also don't have herpes, but if you can catch it from swimming in a pool with somebody who just freshly got it, then keep it away from me and all of our finest athletes.
everything that these countries has to offer, the best of the best. They don't wanna brush up against your gonorrhea. You
But
know
what
what?
I'm getting at here is that there's a lot of that, and so maybe if you're a really horny person who wants to hook up with an athlete, you should try to get into the Olympics by getting in a weird way. Like these sports that you're about to tell us on this list, I'm sure are crazy, and there's probably not a whole lot of people that spend their whole life training for them. So if you're like, man, it sounds like the Olympics are a place to get laid, then
Yeah.
maybe in 4 years you can be really good at checkers and you can make it to the
If you
Olympics.
are that hard up to have sex with someone that you would train your body to get to the Olympics, you should just try the dating apps because I
That's a
think
good
that's
idea too.
easier. So the first one I've never even heard of this, but I guess it's cool. But I also feel like if I went and watched, I'd be kind of bored. Plunge for distance. So swimmers jump in the water and see how long they can shoot themselves before coming up for air.
Oh,
And
it's holding your breath?
Yeah, you dive in the water and you go forward and you just keep going
Oh,
forward.
that's interesting. See, when you said the name, I thought it was like the dogs where they throw the toy and the dog jumps off the platform and it's the dog that jumps the furthest wins. I really thought that's what that was. I thought it
I
was
want
like
you
the
to know
person
I
that
would
jumped the
watch
furthest.
that. I would wear an American flag t-shirt. It would be so awesome if people did that. The next one, it looks like it's like a kids swim park. It's called Obstacle Swim. And it's true. It's an oddity from it came from 1900s Paris games and the event which requires competitors to climb over poles and boats and then swim under more boats. I feel like the person who was in charge of putting this game together was like, I forgot. We're going to put some boats. You're going to go under the boats. Later, more boats that you're going to go under.
That sounds like something from Fear Factor. You remember Fear Factor? You have to hold your breath and you have to like pull out a dummy out of the water and like I you can't do that if you're a rookie because you drowned.
You really would. So apparently, a lot of people train to be an obstacle swim. I mean, I guess it would be such a proud moment if your kid was like, I'm going to the Olympics. But some things I don't want to say embarrassed about. You know what I mean? Not at
I wouldn't
all.
be embarrassed about any of them. If you're going to the Olympics, I just don't even tell
Okay.
people like what I'm going for. You just leave them believing that you're like a world-class sprinter. They don't need to
And
know that you're an
really,
obstacle swimmer.
or really what you're doing is because there's an Olympic sport for this chorus singing.
No, there's not. I don't believe that one.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna hold
Where'd
this
you
up.
get this list?
New York Times.
Okay, well, maybe
Mhm,
chorus
mm,
singing.
mm.
Does it have
Yeah,
an explanation? How do they pick a
okay,
winner?
chorus singing, let me see, thanks to a largely it's the founder of the modern Olympic Games, he wanted to restore the Olympiad to its original beauty, and at his urging, literature, music, painting, architecture, and sculpture debuted in the 1912 games. So it's singing. You could just become a singer. Wouldn't that be crazy if you just
Hold
didn't
on,
even
hold
know
on,
you
hold on,
could
hold on,
sing?
hold on. Is this list current Olympic Games or are these
Yes,
games that have
no,
been in there before?
these are current Olympic Games that they
I
continue on.
I have a chance then because I'm a good chorus singer.
Okay, live pigeon shooting. I see that at my brother-in-law's house
I
every
don't think this is
Saturday.
real. I think that you're messed up somehow. I think you got a messed up list. They're not shooting real birds. I know that they shoot like clay pigeons.
Okay, how about this one? You know what? These actually might not be happening now. This might be another time.
PETA would shut down the Olympics tomorrow if they were shooting real pigeons.
I was like, wow, they're really lenient. These must be some deep, deep. You're right. These are these are things that are happening in the 1900. So the last time Paris, uh, well, shit, what a waste of a fucking list. You got
Well,
a list
keep
you want
going
to
now.
do?
I mean, you might as well go. I do
Okay,
know
well,
I did see the other day that breakdancing was added to the Olympics this year for the first
that's the
time
list
ever.
that I was looking for. Was like, what are all the weird things like break dancing? That's ridiculous.
Breakdancing, it's a first time thing this year, and that is for real. And it pisses me off if I'm being honest with you, because I come from the sport of bowling, and bowling is not an Olympic sport. And bowling,
Whoa.
I'm going to be biased for a second, but bowling is hard. That it's not like
It's
darts.
kind of like, you know what I look at bowling as? Honestly, like golf. Like you have to
Yeah, it's
it
a skill.
it's a skill, but you
What
have to be in the right mindset. And if
Not
you're
only
not,
that, the thing
yeah,
that people don't understand about bowling, they think that it's like cornhole or darts where there's no variable. There is a variable in bowling, and I won't get too geeky on you, but on the lane, they put oil on the lane, right? And the oil causes your bowling ball to do different things, and you can make it really, really hard actually, unlike cornhole or darts where it's the same all the time. You can't change
that's
it.
what it is.
And
Yeah.
so you can make bowling very hard, and it's a skill sport, and it's very hard, and people that are good at it are really good at it. There's people that are really terrible at it too. But one of the reasons that bowling isn't an Olympic sport, I'm told, is because like it has a bad perception. People drink and smoke, and there's lots of fat guys,
What?
and so
Really?
we need to get some really fit,
Yeah,
like
but here's the deal.
supermodel looking suckers to be the face of bowling, and we'll make it an Olympic sport someday.
But what I think about that is that don't you kind of in a way, wouldn't that bring America together where we'd see like normal folks? You know what I mean? Like it is cool to watch the Olympics and see people who can do things that I couldn't do in my wildest dreams and they've trained their bodies and their, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
It's like the game that you were talking about. Now I'm forgetting what that game's called with the brooms at the Winter Olympics.
Oh
Like, you
yeah,
don't
I
have
don't
to be
even
in the
remember
best
what it's
shape to
called
do
either.
that. These guys aren't world-class athletes. You can have a fat guy who drinks and smokes brooming.
I
What
think
I don't know,
America
what's
would
that sport
love
called
that
that
fat
drives you?
guy.
I agree. Like
I
this,
think,
they're
yeah,
they're making a mistake. But you're going back to what we talked about earlier, and you're making this all about America. The Olympics
you're
are not an
right.
American thing. This is a world thing. Although I must say that some of the best bowlers in the world right now, the best bowler in the world is an Australian guy. So it
Mhm.
is a world sport.
Have you ever mentioned that to Keith Urban?
I mentioned it to a different Australian singer one time, and he was like, "I don't give a shit, dude. Like, don't talk to me about bowling." And so I was like, "Oh, well, you guys don't care for your own." So I never brought it up to Keith Urban because he wouldn't care either. He'd be like, "Get out of here."
I bet he wouldn't. His wife's Nicole Kidman, so if just meets you and you're like,
I told
"Fun
you this
little
about
fact
Keith
in the
Urban before,
bowling
but
world."
the one
What?
time I met Keith Urban, he kept talking about his friend named Nick, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a cool. Like, where's is Nick here tonight?
I
Is he
think
here?"
you did mention
Yeah,
that.
and then come to find out Nick is Nicole, who's his wife, and I called him his buddy and asked him if he was there that night, and so Keith Urban thinks I'm a big idiot.
You know
That's it.
what's weird about meeting Keith Urban, and you and I are we're in different situations. So for me, meeting him was a different, scenario. It was like a quick, "Hello, how are you? Nice to see you." He smells so good. He smells like he smells so good, and somebody on his team said that he has his own formula that only he can make. It's like the Keith Urban formula. And I'm like, that is like next level. If like normal smells aren't good enough with the and that you're gonna make your own signature smell. But I guess that's something that rich people do sometimes. I've never
No,
even heard of that.
you have your own like pheromones that come out of your body, and some people's are good and some people's are bad. I feel like the bowlers of the world probably are stinky folk, and then there's Keith Urban who's just like he naturally smells good. Like when he sweats, it smells like roses.
I know people like that where after they leave, they smell you can smell them and it's a good smell. Sometimes it's a bad smell, I guess, but I've mostly had good where I'm like, "Wow, how do you get your just self to smell so good?"
Our
And,
old boss, who we talk about a lot, God
I
rest his soul, because he was our
know.
favorite
That's
Stu.
what I was
He
thinking
had
of.
he it was cologne, but, like, I wear cologne, and my cologne, when I leave a room, the cologne goes with me. When Stu was in a room, like, you knew he was there 3 days prior.
You
It
did.
just stayed, and it
I
it was good too. It was just weird, like,
it
the
was so
ghost of Stu
good.
lived on in a room for 4 days after he was there. You knew exactly where he was. Poor Stu could never get away with hiding anywhere because you would always know
Did
where
you
he
could
was.
smell him. I would walk down a hall and go, "Was Stu just here? Where did he go?" And I've never met anyone who had that kind of I'm like, "How does that work? How do you make cologne, like, go to the next level where it hangs out after to remind people how good you smell?"
I
That's
wonder if
like a
it's like a
trick.
I wonder if it's like a time thing, like, you have to be committed to it. I bet Stu wore that same cologne for 45
It
years,
was, like, in
and it
his
was like yeah,
skin.
it's like ingrained in him so that when like, he didn't even need to wear it anymore. It was just part of him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's what Keith Urban has done. He's just put this same sort of scent on himself for so long that it's just a piece of who he is now.
Yeah. I mean, he was nice. He wore a lot of makeup, just a lot. I
Keith
mean,
Urban did?
yeah, I
At
found
just a
him
normal concert?
yeah. But
Huh,
I
I
mean,
didn't notice
he
that.
was very touched up and very beautiful, and his hair was beautiful, and we were just some scraggly asses, and so, that was fine.
You know
Okay,
what
do
Keith
you
Urban looks like to me?
what?
A lesbian woman. And now I'll never get to meet him again. But it's true. Every time I see him, I'm just like, "Who's this lesbian chick?" Especially when he cuts his hair a little bit
I know.
shorter.
Well,
Yeah,
I
he
went in
does.
first of all, it was like, this is weird. To meet him, you had to go into you had to go into, like, y let me they're like, when you get a spray tan, sometimes you'll go into this little where like
Like
a
a curtain
foldable
area. Yeah,
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 it's
it's
so
like a
stupid.
hut.
a hut, a tiny little hut the size of a Porto John. And so it's like they open the curtain and you slide into the Porto John sized meeting area. And he's like, hello. Oh, that's a terrible, that's not even Australian. Good day. Is that right? That's better. No, that's not. Okay. Anyway, you go in there and you have this weird conversation and then they let him out, which is so odd to me because I'm like, do you not want anyone else looking at you?
They do have a problem. I've learned that recently, actually, at a show I was producing recently. The tour managers were like, "I need you to turn this meet and greet so that the other people that are in line to meet this artist can't watch." That it's a thing. They don't like that. They don't like to be. They like to have time, one-on-one time, I suppose, with the normal folk, and they don't want everybody else watching it. I don't know. It's a thing, though.
That is so weird, and I also kind of feel like it's messed up. I kind of feel like it's a bad look, and I like to think that if I were a musician and had that kind of talent and I was Keith Urban, I'd be like, "This is really weird. This is weird. People can see me meet other people if they want. It's okay. You
The
know,
whole
keep
idea
people
of it's
far."
weird, though. Like,
The
that
whole
at the
idea
end of the
is
day, the whole
weird.
idea of meeting famous people is weird, and we all look forward to it. You don't as much anymore, but, like, most people would get really excited if they had a chance to meet Keith Urban, but when you think about it, he's a
He's
dude,
literally
and
just a dude. He's just a guy, and
you're
people
really
go,
excited, like, you're yeah, he's like an idol to some people, and they look forward to it. I I mean, if you like getting likes on Instagram, I guess it's good for that.
yeah, you could put it out there and be like, "Keith and I are hanging out," and clear and what's funny is people who have never done, like, a meet and greet are like, "Do you guys hang out? Can you call him?" And I'm like, "Oh, they don't even remember your face 5 minutes after you walk away." It's like it's a well-oiled machine.
That's the
Um,
most hurtful thing in my industry for me, is there's some of them that you make a connection with and some of them that you don't, and I feel
yeah,
like I have a pretty good gauge on who I've made a connection with and who I haven't, and sometimes I'll get it wrong, though, and I'll show up to
like
this
Jelly
meet and
Roll.
greet or a hangout, not Jelly Roll, he we're good, but, I would show up and I'll think, "Man, I'm really excited to see my old buddy, haven't seen him in a year or 2," and they're like, "Hey, nice to meet you, I'm so and so," and I'm like,
Oh.
"Never playing your music again, dick face."
Now, Shawn, I believe that would be against some sort of
That is
rule.
illegal. That's illegal.
I don't think you could
Actually, I
just say,
don't know if it
"You
is.
are mean to me, and I am never playing your music
I
again."
don't know if that is illegal. I feel like that's grounds for not playing someone's music, and
Really?
that's okay if they don't remember you. If they don't offer to give me something and then I don't play their music because they didn't give me something, that's a different story, but if they don't remember me and they hurt my feelings, I have full reign to not play their music ever again, so don't forget me.
The power that you hold, how do you feel? I mean, it's a Colorado radio station. You control if that artist is gonna get on one of those
Can I be
stages.
honest with you for one
Yeah.
second? I gotta be real honest, and I've never told this story before, and you'll get a kick out of it because you make fun of me for it all the time. But there was a time, and I'm not gonna name the artist no matter how much you dig, so don't. But there was an artist who I met with a fellow worker, a fellow coworker in radio, and said artist I thought would remember me. We had had a few connections, didn't remember me, did the whole nice to meet you thing, and it hurt my feelings. But he remembered my coworker who wore a cowboy hat and had like a weird he talks a little bit different than most of us. So he had something that made him stand out, the cowboy hat and the weird talk. And he remembered him like it was nothing and didn't remember me. And so in my mind, I was like, you know what? I don't have a thing. I need a
Is that where
thing
you
because
started doing the neckerchief?
I'm just a normal
Okay.
old guy. I need a thing so these people remember me. And so my thing became the handkerchiefs around my neck.
Why did you give that up? I know you said COVID, but couldn't
COVID.
you have worn them around the house
I
to
mean, I
really
could
commit
have.
to them?
That would have been really stupid.
Did you only wear them to shows and events, or would you
I
wear
wore
them
them
out
to
to
work every
Texas
day.
Roadhouse?
For
Yes.
one straight year, I wore a bandana around my neck every single damn day, every
Do you think
single
that's
day.
something that you will eventually look back on and go, "That was an embarrassing moment"?
I actually
Well,
did today. Facebook memories popped up, and it was a post from you at Cheyenne Frontier Days. I think it was 5 years ago, and it was me and my wife and your husband, all 4 of us, and our good buddy Drew, the whacker, hanging out at Cheyenne Frontier
whacker.
Days at a Keith Urban concert, no lie, and
Oh,
I'm wearing the
wow.
bandana. Go look at your Facebook memories. It's from today. And Anyway, I'm wearing the bandana. Not only that, but I was really fat at the time. I was chunky, man, and I was
I
wearing
don't
way
think
too
you were
tight of a
fat.
shirt. And so I don't know if that
Well,
bandana
now
was
I
like
have to go and look.
insinuating my gut or what, but between the bandana and my fatness, I was like, "Can we never look at these pictures
Yes.
again?"
Okay, let me see if I can do this. Oh, wait, but Shannon's
You'll have to
well,
just post them.
you know what? You were a
Yeah, I
little
was chunky.
chunk.
I don't even know what I was doing back then 5 years ago to get that chunky, but I
I'm
got
so
I
good at
got
this.
little can't really see it. It's blurry.
There you
Yeah.
are.
And
Hi.
the girl that I'm holding on to in that picture is now a coworker of mine. I work with her every day. Her name's Sheena, and she's great.
Wonderful
Anyway,
story. But yeah, no,
that's
you committed to
that's what
that
started the whole bandana thing. The like feeling like
because
I needed a thing to stand out so that these artists would remember me. It's true. And now I'm at the point in my life and my career where if I'm just honest on this show, like I don't care. It
yeah,
doesn't
but it
matter.
hurt your feelings the other day when Jelly Roll didn't let you hang with him. That hurt
It
your
didn't hurt.
feelings?
It didn't hurt my feelings. I was just telling you that it's not always glamorous. They're not always like at my beck and call. That's all I was saying. Like it's not a perfect world.
It must be annoying being an artist because that's how people go into meeting you is how will they remember me? And like that's all they deal with all day are people who just want to somehow And I also bet which I do find this cringy as well when have you ever seen the videos like on TikToks a TikTok of someone go like seeing Celine Dion on the street and they shoot their shot and they start singing and Celine Dion's just like there's actually one video and she like rolls up the window. Like the limo stops and she rolls the window down and the girl's like, ah, and she just looks forward and rolls up the window and they drive away, which is pretty rough. I'm like, damn.
Well,
But
what are you supposed to do though? That would be hard, especially for a people pleaser like me. Like if I was famous and there was some shit singer that came up to me on the street and started singing, I'd be like, "Yeah, you're good, dude. You should go on The Voice." And that would be a lie, but it's the only way I know how to be. So it would be really
do
hard. I get
not
it. All right, give us more of
ever
these sports.
do not ever trust Shawn when he says, "You should go on The Voice. You're really good." He just feels uncomfortable. Okay, so
I shouldn't be the judge of anybody's talent because I'm bad at critiquing. I'm bad at giving negative reviews.
well, you kind of nailed me on this where this is not these are not Olympic games that are happening now like I thought because the next one is deer target where they go out and they hunt deer. That one I would have stopped and been like, "Well, God, we're killing a
Are
lot
you
of
sure this isn't the redneck games from Alabama? They're hunting pigeons and now they're hunting deer.
Okay, wait, but let me read into it. Thankfully, Deer Target, the event, didn't involve live deer. They were cutouts of deer with targets that were used, and the deer would move quickly about 75 feet in 4 seconds. And you have to like whoosh, whoosh, Men in Black that shiz. And
Hmm.
but then they got rid of it because and then this guy in 1920s, he won the silver medal at the age of 72. Yeah, but forever you're like, "What'd you win in?" Deer hunting. I was shooting at some cardboard deer. But again,
If it's-
good for them. Anyway, I'm gonna
Is that
watch the
it? You don't
Olympics.
have any more?
No, that's literally the it. Those are the strangest Oh, skate. Okay, so here are the new events at the 2024 Paris
Oh,
Olympics.
this was the list we've been
This
looking
was
for
the
the
list.
last
No,
29
this isn't
minutes.
no, this is not that list. This is the list of ones they had just added this year to the Olympics that you can watch. Skateboarding, sports climbing, surfing. Surfing wasn't an Olympic sport.
I'm
I guess I'm
surprised by
dumb
that
that I
too.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I would
Um,
have thought it was.
Now this is so cool. Cycling, BMX freestyle. Watching those people do that on the motorbikes, I feel so old. It's so crazy. It's insanity. They have no fear. They're
They
jumping
do
up
the X Games.
flip and oh god.
So
It's
the
so great.
Olympics are just becoming the X Games now. They already do the X Games every year, and now all the X Game sports are becoming Olympic sports.
Well, and then the final thing that they're introducing this year is 3-on-3 basketball. Okay, this is the list I was looking for. Sorry. This is the list of the most ridiculous Olympic events. Trampoline. Although it
Yeah, but
looks
those
fun,
I
trampolining could be very well the most dangerous Olympic sport.
yeah, dude, they jump.
Trampolinists perform at least 10 different, yeah, it's like an acrobat.
Yeah, that I'm all for that one. I don't even find that weird. We find it weird because we all have trampolines in our backyard, but like the people that are good at it, like they're athletes. I'm all for that one. What else you got? Because this show's almost over.
Rhythm gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics. Some might know rhythmic gymnastics for its ribbon dancing. So Will Ferrell in that
Yeah.
movie.
Mm.
Because they sometimes use ribbons or balls or a hoop. This event has been a part of the Olympics. So you kind of hula hoop and dance a little bit, and that's the thing. This one's weird. Air pistol. If you thought shooting at the Olympics was an eccentric event, wait till you see shooting with an air rifle or pistol. That's interesting. Steeplechase. What's
Yeah,
steeplechase?
with
Obstacle course,
it's yeah.
handball, table tennis, synchronized swimming, badminton, canoe slalom, canoe sprint, modern pentathlon. What is that? That is a subset. That is an event made up of 5 events that have nothing to do with each other, and it's just one baller ass who's like, "I can do it
Mhm.
all." And they go fencing, and they do air pistol shooting, and swimming, and running, and that's insanity. That's all I'm gonna tell you for today. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you again to our wonderful sponsor, Cristiana Salon and Spa, and also Casey's Pest Control Services. Go to Casey's Pest Control Services.com if you're dealing with mosquito issues, or maybe oh my God, I was reading about this bug that they found, this worm, and it is like a radioactive worm. And when you cut it up, it just turns into more worms. It doesn't kill it. It makes 2 worms when you cut one worm. So you know who I'm going to be on the phone with? Casey Zimmerman. And you can get a hold of him today. Casey's Pest Control Services.com. Thanks for listening, and be sure to click the subscribe button. God, I hate saying that.
I'm giving Naomi
Pineapple.
and Winona a drink of my pineapple.
Why is this? I thought you were just spreading your pineapple
Oh,
message.
there's a straw and I'm feeding it to Winona. Okay, bye.
Oh, bye.